Me too. Robin was getting sick this morning, and she said she was throwing up blood too. So something ain't right. Something ain't.
Not good. Not good. We are live. We are live. Dun, dun, dun. Hey, it's Sue Greenwald here with Awaken Stories. Here today with the one, the only, the John F. Kennedy Jr. Hey, John, how are you?
I am doing great. Thank you for
Yeah,
asking me on
yeah.
today. And by the way, we're on live on Facebook. You can join us, and you just won't have to see me. You can see Sue on YouTube, Awaken Stories with Sue Greenwald. So, yeah, please like, share, follow, subscribe, and all that good stuff.
Yep. Yep. Don't you get sick of always having to say that over and over and over and over? Like we're always talking about things and it's just it would be nice just to talk about the story and not have to like constantly refresh it in people's minds. And I know there's a
I
lot of new people always popping in, so we want to bring the story out to them, but it's just hard sometimes always having to talk about the stuff, you know?
Yeah. Well, I've said I was kidnapped. I was replaced. The government's evil, and I've been sharing what they've done to me and my loved ones thousands and thousands and thousands of times.
Yeah.
But it's a war. They don't want my story out. They don't want you to share my story. They don't want the Lions to share my story. I'm exposing government for the most heinous crimes in the world, so we got to do
Yeah.
what we got to do.
Yeah.
My chest hurts from me throwing up so much right now. And when you asked me to join you, it was like, I got to get the story out. I can't lay in bed and, you know,
Yeah.
this morning I got out and was working in the garden and it was like, I know I'm sick. I know I'm not feeling good, but I got to get my boots on and do what I got to do and keep marching forward and keep
Yeah.
sharing the story. And I ask everybody else to keep sharing the story and they're all everybody. You're all so appreciated. You really, really are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sue, you're amazing. Um, a wonderful lion, and all you lions that hit that share button and realize that they could take your account down on Facebook just for holding up a book. Brenda Scott Price knows that more than anybody. I think she's been taken down. I believe it's over 30 times on TikTok, Facebook. She just keeps making new accounts, sharing it but it's an evil satanic crime when we're exposing, and they don't want to be exposed. And the worst thing that you can do to organized crime is point them out. I learned that at a very young age because once they know that there's a member in this satanic cult of organized crime, they're done. That's it. They can't hang around with people or do what they normally do because everybody's got an eye on them now.
Right.
And a lot of people in the mafia get unalive just for that very reason. It's a secret society, and they want to be secret. They don't want to be sat down in a chair and tortured to get the truth out, who's who, who's what, and who's where, and expose more of the corruption. And that's how it works in organized crime. And I think I'm a pretty good expert in what happens in organized crime. I really, really do. I've seen so much. I've done so much that I'm not proud of, but the tools are very powerful. They really are. MK
Well,
Ultra. If you don't know what MK Ultra is, figure it out. Learn about it. It's a weapon against we the people.
if you look up MK Ultra now, they say, well, it was used back then, but it's been discontinued. Okay. So don't worry, it's been discontinued. And we know that's not true because we see it happening now. We see all these school shootings and these other events. And then the perpetrator is always like, I don't even remember doing that. I don't remember even having an urge to do that. But of course, the evidence has been planted. A lot of times they're killed, so they're used as a patsy or whatever. It's a horrible thing, but it influences the population, right? It does shapes the way society thinks. Like, so right now we're like, oh, we've got to get rid of those evil guns, or this poor boy was bullied or whatever, and that's why he reacted, right? So there's always an agenda there. Yeah. But we've learned so much from you in the past 3 years that I've been doing this with you, um, we've learned why they do it. We've learned how they do it. You've told us all these stories, and I've learned so much about why organized crime slash our government would want to change someone's identity. Why would they go to such great lengths to do all this, to replace somebody? Now we know.
Yeah, it's all over
Yeah.
power and control of human beings.
Yeah.
And the elite, the billionaires, they're the ones behind it all.
Yeah.
They like to use us and abuse us, and they don't like to expose themselves. And MK Ultra is a wonderful tool to get the
Yeah.
Epstein files, people, the big picture. They're not telling you the big picture. The big picture is MK Ultra, children, control of children. I was, man, to get a child to put a weapon in his hand and to have that child pull the trigger on another human being. The child doesn't even know what's actually real, what's not going on, what's happening. That's the Epstein files, people. That's the root, the core is to get these children and control them. They're in it for the long term. They're not
Yeah.
just in it for the short term. They're in it for their family members after they're dead and gone. So this keeps continuing, and it's been going on for a very, very long time. In the secret society.
Yeah.
And I keep thinking of this, so I'm just going to share it. Ozzy Osbourne, and actually it was Black Sabbath, and his song "Poor Pigs in the Field, the Body's Burning." Yeah, think about it. In the fields, the body's burning. Personal eyewitness to this. It's a cult. It's a ritual, and it's not just one or two. They can get families, many people. They'll get a backhoe. These are the richest people in the world. They can get a backhoe and dig a trench up in the middle of the woods, 13 feet deep, and just toss the ashes in there. It, I'm a witness to this, and it's really actually crazy. And when you're under MK Ultra, there's nothing you can do. I tried running away many times. I do believe I had a tracker in me, and they would find me each and every time. I'd be up in the middle of the woods going, I got to get away from this. And boom, next thing I know, I was getting grabbed saying, I ain't going.
Right. That's awful.
It's the big picture, people. You're not getting the big picture. Most people aren't, especially the haters I get. We're exposing child trafficking, kidnapping, torture of children, all the way to the unalivement of people. And I get hate for it. I get hate for trying to tell the world, look at what they're doing in government. This is a natural thing. Our FBI, our Secret Service, our CIA, they are the mob. They are organized crime. They police themselves. They can unalive somebody and get away with it because there's nobody above them to police them. They get away with murder. And, a lot of the best murders are suicides, poisonings, secret. It's not all weapons. It's all not all guns, fun and game. There's many ways to unalive people. MK Ultra is a good example. I've seen somebody under MK Ultra run 100 miles an hour right under a diesel truck just because they were told to. And
Awful.
then they put the video on to the internet. It's
Yeah.
powerful. And people really need to know how powerful this weapon is. They get these children as they're young. Remember the dentist chair on Epstein Island? Don't believe it's just to pull out teeth so they don't get bit on the wiener. No, it's bigger than that. It really is. People aren't seeing the big picture, the control of children. So when they get old in life, the weapon's placed in their hand and they'll say, go. And they don't even know what they're doing. They don't even know. Next thing you know, it's Las Vegas. Next thing you know, it's a college campus or a church. They're that big, they're that powerful. And then
Yeah.
you get everybody screaming, take away the weapons.
That's exactly the
You got
agenda.
9/11, you got Waco, you got Oklahoma City, Timothy McVeigh. The list goes on and on and on. It's this government satanic cult doing it all. I know this. I was shown all this. It's crazy huge, and they want to cover it all up. Just like when that tank ran into the front of the Waco compound and burned all those children alive. They didn't want no witnesses. They didn't want nobody talking. That was, I'm not even going to say any names, but you'll get the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. Awful. Awful. You know what I mean? But like a lot of these events, like we're told a story, okay, about why it happened, how it happened, and the perpetrator or whatever. But then you really need to start looking at the event and think of what is the agenda? Like, why would someone do that? And what's the end result that they wanted? And it's usually, again, control and money, right? They might want the land, they might want to control people and take away their weapons. When they take away their weapons, we can't protect ourselves and we're more controllable, right? And yeah.
Well, when I was younger, I was a truck driver for many, many, many years, and that was to stay on the run. I couldn't get an apartment somewhere because they would find me. They would find me when I was driving a truck. So I had to have many truck driving jobs, but I was at a truck stop when I was young, and I was counting on my fingers and my toes all the unalivenments I had seen under MK Ultra. Um, big time. People being unalive. And
Hmm.
I was thinking about one, and I couldn't figure it out. I was like, well, why did this happen? I was kind of like being a private investigator in my own mind. And I thought for so long on it, and it was stumping me. And the first thing I thought of was money and power. And then all the pieces to the puzzle fit together. It's always about money and power. You get these billionaires in power, they want to keep their billions.
Right.
And they're always at war because somebody's always trying to steal their billions. It's crazy at the top. It really, really is. But if you ever have to ask why, just remember money and power.
Right.
It's a billionaires club. We're not invited, but you don't want to be. But we need to take their billions away and start making America great again. We do for
Well,
sure.
since I've learned so much from you about why they have this agenda, why would they go to such trouble to really replace people? It's clicked into place. And now that I've seen it, I can't unsee it. I see it everywhere in our society, right?
Yeah,
People have been replaced, actresses, actors, musicians, politicians, whoever they are. They've all been replaced because they want, again, to influence and control people. They want their resources, their money, their property, whatever it might be. It's so prevalent. Like we think this is just here and there. It's actually quite prevalent.
and I see it all the time, even more and more. The news media, they're bought and paid for. They're cabal. They're part of this billionaire club. They they don't advertise what you're not what you know. But I remember this was quite a few years ago. The mainstream media was saying organized crime doesn't exist anymore. The mafia, they don't exist anymore. Even though they're so huge and so powerful, they're trying to cover themselves up and say it doesn't exist, but it does exist. And how it exists is identity theft. Every 3 seconds, somebody's or whatever it is, you see the commercials, somebody's getting taken for dough, for money, of identity theft. Well, it goes all the way up to the most heinous crimes. They take your identity, they take your bank accounts, they take your houses, your property. You got to remember some of these rich people, they have hundreds of homes. They have apartment buildings, complexes, hotel, casinos, big time money. And if you can just replace that one person, it's better than going into a bank and robbing it at gunpoint and risking your life. You just take that one person out, find somebody to replace them. You become an instant billionaire. Bang, it's done.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. And everybody's starting to see that on the internet. Oh, this person doesn't look like that person. That person doesn't look like this person. It's a family thing. All of the entertainers, all of the Hollywood actors, it's all a big family, a big club. And they replace them and they steal from them. And it's huge. It's
Yeah.
it's crazy huge, people.
Yeah.
And they'll tell you, oh, it doesn't, but it exists. It really, really does.
Yeah.
Everybody, please hit that share button. Go to YouTube, follow Sue Greenwald, share her platform. Erica just put Homer Simpson on there. I love Homer Simpson.
I haven't seen that show in years. It is fun to watch. But yeah, yeah. So yeah, so much corruption. Now, the big person we're hearing about now in the news is Jim Carrey, right? All the videos are comparing the old Jim Carrey versus the new, right? He's obviously not the same person, right? But people are starting to wake up slowly.
I always liked Jim Carrey. I really did. I was actually on a couple of his movies on the set with him. I've met just about everybody. I don't know why, but I was taken under MK Ultra, and I met Jim Carrey. But he was an artist, or is an artist. I hope they didn't take him out. But I liked him because he stood his ground to the cabal. Everyone like Jim Carrey is controlled by the cabal. Every single one of them. They are placed by the cabal. They get a contract right then and there. We'll make you a freaking movie star. We'll get you millions and millions of dollars, but you do what the fuck you're told, when you're told, how you're told to do it, and you give us your cut. You give us your cut. If we tell you to go buy a limousine, you go buy that freaking limousine. If that limousine should only be $20,000 and they're wanting $40,000 for that limousine, you pay that $40,000 because they want to take $20,000 of your money and go party. That's what you do. And Jim Carrey was like, a lot of this shit's bullshit evil.
Yeah.
I was actually talking with him and he was painting this great big painting. Um, I was taught by Chagall. I was taught by Pablo Picasso. So many people, and I'm bad with names, people. I really am. I was programmed not to say names, but there was this guy and that guy and this guy, and they made millions of dollars on their artwork. And I can't remember their names, but I met a lot of artists and a lot of people, and they were bringing me up to God only knows what. But now I'm sharing the truth to the world. I've been a people person. I've been I have ate at the freaking Trump Taj Mahal $600 dinner where there three people are wiping the crumbs off your sport coat. Um, making sure your bread's buttered and handing you stuff. And I have ate out of a fucking 7-Eleven goddamn dumpster too, people. It's I've been at the top when I was little. I had maid service where they would cut my fucking grapefruit and have the little egg in the glass and the whole 9 yards. But yeah, I have been hungry on the streets eating out of a 7-Eleven dumpster in fucking Las Vegas, for God's sakes. So I've experienced a lot in my lifetime. But why they put me in poverty after all that, I can't explain it. I really can't. But I did it, and I'm sharing my experiences with the world, and I hope you share it because it's all about we the people. There's a line in the sand, people, and right now that line is pretty soon it's going to be too late to do anything. It's going to be too freaking late. 10 years ago, I made a video. I said, inflation's coming, people. It really is. You're going to need a wheelbarrow load of money to buy a loaf of bread. Look what the government's doing to us. People support this government, and all they're doing is stealing from us, raping us, robbing us blind. And we need to put a stop to it. We need to eliminate all the theft by government. It's all a crime ring. And we need to give it back to the people that ate out of a freaking dumpster at 7-Eleven that know what the good life is and what the bad life is and not what to do in life over the freaking green dollar bill and stab people in the back and take all their assets because we're in trouble.
No one should be eating out of a dumpster. No one should be living on the streets ever. And we have enough resources here on earth to prevent that easily. But the thing is, the guys at the top are greedy, right?
Oh
They
yeah.
don't want to share. They don't care about the lower person. In fact, the person without money has no respect. So that's
Uh,
why they do it. All these people that have been switched out have purposely been kept in poverty because then they're controllable and they can't, of course, they can't hire help in any respect. They're so focused on just surviving. They can't focus on getting their story out to the world, right? Or they're on the run, right? So that's why they do it. You have no resources, you have no food, you have no this, you have no that. You have to work really hard just to get the basic stuff.
there's so much that could be done that's not being done in
Yep,
this country, from the vets to the homeless to
yep,
the housing to the inflation. And these rich people, they love it. They don't want to do anything. They keep lying to you and they're going to say, we're going to do all this good. It's all fucking lies. We could fix the homeless situation very freaking quickly. We really could if we stand together. The drugs coming across the border, 22 veterans commit suicide each and every day. They're not doing anything. And it's all programming. If you add up 22 a day, lives being taken of people that have served in the military over the last 10 years, you'd shit yourself. You really would. It's that, and nothing's being done. But it's all programming. It's all
right,
MK Ultra, and it's not getting any better. It's not.
right.
And we could do something without the lies and the bullshit and the deception. We need to get some Americans, some hardworking Americans that don't need $150,000 salary, that just want to go in there and make changes for the better, for the people, for the future of their children. And it's not that way. You know, I think we just need to obliterate the whole freaking 9 yards, the Senate and the fucking Congress and all of it. Just get rid of all of it and start fresh and figure out a way where organized crime can't get their feet into the
Right.
works, where all they're
Yeah.
doing is stealing from us. Inflation is because our government's crooks.
So many people that I talk to are talking about Democrats this, Republicans that, or this or that. And I just basically always try to say they're both the same, different wings of the same bird. So what I mean by that is they're both corrupt. They might look like they're arguing or fighting among themselves. Neither side cares about the common person, right? They care about their agendas, which for both of them is corrupt. They're all about greed in themselves, keeping themselves in power and control.
Big business
Yeah.
puts them in place. Big business
Yep.
gives them all that money. They buy their
Yep.
way into office. Donald Trump bought his way into office. Donald Trump lied and deceived the people to get in office, the fake assassination attempt. I know all about photo ops, people. I know all about the photo ops. It's huge. And that assassination attempt was the biggest freaking photo op in history, besides a lot of the other shit. But it's huge. That should be a death sentence right there. For deceiving people all the way to a fake assassination attempt, that should be the death sentence.
Right.
Sorry,
Yeah.
it should. I don't mean to not wake you up, but you need to wake up to that is gimmick. It's a scam. It's a lie, and it's done so free publicity on the fake media.
Right.
That's one thing I love about Donald Trump. He puts it right out there. It's all fake media, but he sure relies on it when his vote he comes to
Yep.
vote for him.
Yep. Well, yeah, it's all done for, to manipulate your opinion and control the people, right? No matter what it is. I just read some more today. The post office is raising their rates again. Right? They raised their rates 2 months ago. And they've been in business like what, hundreds of years, whatever. Why are you raising your rates again? Oh, gas prices are going up. They use whatever excuse they can to turn up the, discomfort on the people. That's what we're seeing. Food,
Well, my PO
utilities.
box that I got down the street here just for my safety
Yeah,
is $100 every 6 months for a little bitty box. If I get any big packages, they got to put a key in there so I can go get it from another box Here lately, they've been late. They have a sign that says your mail will be out by noon. And I went in there at 2 o'clock yesterday, and my mail wasn't there. So me and Robin went back at 6 o'clock at night, and it was there. They went from having 3 staff members at the post office waiting on people
Yeah.
to one. And at lunchtime, the line's actually out the door.
Yeah.
So just by looking at what's going on, they're
Yeah.
hurting. They're
Yeah.
cutting their staff. They're charging more for the postal rates. Um, it's crazy, but yeah,
Yeah.
I see it myself.
They're doing that with everything. They shrink the package sneakily. They don't announce it. Hey, you're going from a 5 pound bag to a 3 pound bag, whatever they do. They give you less product and they crank up the price.
And
And people are feeling it. They're feeling the
it's getting
gas.
bad.
Yeah.
You get these people on Facebook and they say, yeah, I took my family of 4 out to dinner and it was $500. Can you imagine? Hell, I was living in poverty when me and my son and Robin got here. She took me to Jimmy John's and a couple of places around town that I had never even heard of or ate there. We got 2 subs and 2 milkshakes. It was like $60 or something.
It's
I
crazy.
just can't imagine that. But it went from, you know, a dollar hamburger at McDonald's to a $5 hamburger at McDonald's.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. It's ugly. And I
I
mean, everyone's complaining about it worldwide. It's not just a US thing. But see, what we're saying is that those that have the money do not care about those that don't have the money. And that's why they're keeping, the people whose identities have been stolen, switched, or whatever, they're keeping them in poverty, right? And I think they're probably the lucky ones. They're still here with us. They're keeping them in poverty. And that
I
way they
don't
can't,
I don't know how so many people are even surviving right now.
yeah,
I really don't.
yeah,
My heart breaks. I see homeless all the freaking time,
yeah.
and it's crazy. And I know it's just going to get worse because inflation's getting worse. It's costing more for every single thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about your story for those that might be new to the story. Okay. Let's just kind of give them an overview of what happened and talk about that rather than complain about everything we already know.
Yeah. Um, Everybody on Facebook, I am live with the beautiful Sue Greenwald on YouTube right now. And all you lions, if you will go to her channel and like and share this video, it would be so appreciated. We're going old school. This is how we get the truth out, the biggest
Yep.
story of the
Yep.
century, and we're getting it out on Facebook and YouTube and any way we possibly can. So please do us a solid and hit the share button. It is most
Yep. Yep.
appreciated. But it's horrendous as to talk. It's a big mafia war. There was no Kennedy curse, people. My father was the president of the United States, and I'll repeat that. My father was the president of the United States. My father was assassinated when I was 3 years old. What they don't tell you is the Secret Service, the same people that were protecting us, turned on us. They figured they could kill the Kennedy family and steal from the Kennedy family. They're sneaky, they're smart, they're intelligent, and they're organized crime at the highest level. So they figured they would kill me, get rid of me, and put this other character, my stepbrother George, which had mafia blood in him from the other side of the family. They had my mother marry this great big billionaire organized crime member named Aristotle Onassis. They ended up unaliving everyone. This was our Secret Service. This was our federal agents. They stole billions and billions of dollars. Like I said earlier in this show, that's how they work. That's what they did. They kept it secret. They use identity theft, plastic surgery, dental work, voice lessons, cosmetic surgery, hair dye, you name it, they do it to make you believe that that person is still alive. And they siphon all that money to organized crime. They could follow the money trails. Our FBI could follow the money trails and tell you every single organized crime member that got payment. But they run the things, they police themselves. That's what we got to put an end to, is them policing themselves and getting away with murder, getting away with theft. So basically, I was kidnapped. I was replaced. I was put with some handlers called the Quigleys. They were putting me in Hollywood. They were trying to build me up. They put me in the military. And to you people that say I wasn't in the military, I was in all the branches. They taught me a little bit. I was in the CIA. I was in Vietnam learning how to kill people when I was little. Straight up. They don't play by the rules. You're not going to Google it. People think they get on Google. If you Googled me right now, they would say I'm a fake, I'm a fraud with no proof. All I see is another lawsuit in the future with me against Google and them saying I'm a fake and I'm a fraud. I'm not a fake, I'm a fraud. I'm not a fake, I'm a fraud. That didn't come out right. I'm not a fake or a fraud. And I hope to stand up in front of Congress someday, if we still have a Congress left, and have them prove me who I am. Lanny Lewis, there's been two professionals already do the ears on me and say I'm 98% the child in the pictures, all the way up to 12 years old with ear comparisons. They say George Onassis, my stepbrother that stole my identity, that everybody thought was John Kennedy. Not close. So go look at the childhood photos and you'll see for yourself.
Awesome.
But Lanny Lewis just put up a GoFundMe. It's already up almost to the goal to have a forensic scientist do facial recognition on me and whatever they do, because DNA is so difficult. I've spent thousands of dollars on DNA. I've given my DNA to so many people. I've taken DNA tests, and people lie and say, "Oh, well, he refuses to do DNA." No, our government refuses to release my father and mother's DNA to me. It's that simple.
You've done 6 DNA tests already.
Or that.
Yeah, oh, more than 6. And you have actually told us a story about the time you and Wayne broke into a lab and switched, like, what do you call it, test results or whatever they would be
Oh, they
called.
own them. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I do believe one of those was for a drug test. They got that much power. When you go for a job, and it's a very important job, they'll drug test you and they'll send
right.
your drug test to a lab. So if people want you to be placed in there, they're just going to move this bottle to that bottle, and that's how it works. One bottle to another.
Yeah.
DNA can be manipulated, people, and I've seen that it can. The rich run it. The rich control it. It's crazy.
And the reports can be manipulated too. It's not just the DNA itself. So let's say there's a truthful report, they can go in and modify that or switch it with somebody else as well.
Well, when I was with the Quigleys, Dorothy Quigley, that was about the time that they did the Walmart photo, I believe. But they actually were doing DNA tests for some reason. Maybe they were told by organized crime to get their DNA out there, so they could be manipulated one way or another. A lot of crazy shit, but DNA can definitely be manipulated by switching one vial to another. DNA, you can. I could put my DNA swab in a packet to send off to one of these DNA places, and I could put my next door neighbor's name on it. So from now on, history is going to be my next door neighbor's my DNA. It's that simple to fuck with the system, and they do it all the time.
Right. Yeah. Well, it will be great when the real truth can come out. There's no censorship. There's no anything nefarious, that we can just tell the truth. The real numbers show on the video. The real things can be talked about without fear of, harm. And the truth truthfully get out there. Like,
Well,
even the news. Can
I've
you
got
imagine?
thousands, literally thousands and thousands of stories. I know who I am. I'm sharing these stories.
Yeah.
I even had somebody, I'm exposing George for being my stepbrother, George Onassis.
Yep.
And people will say, well, I believe that George is George Onassis, but I don't believe you're John Kennedy. And it's like, well, how the fuck did you find out he was George if I didn't tell you? There's so many stories I'm exposing as
Yeah.
who I am. I know who I am. I lived it. I'm sharing what I lived, and we still get to hate. Look into my eyes right here, people, and tell me you don't see my father. Because it's sad that people don't see it. But we're gonna prove it to all
Right.
you
Right.
haters. Um, we get so many stupid haters. Like I said once more, we're exposing child trafficking, kidnapping, extortion, pre-planned first degree murder. And I get hate for trying to do that. I get hate for trying to help the cause and put an end to all this. It's unbelievable. It really is. How can you get hate for wanting? Well, you know,
Yeah, for wanting a better world, right?
right?
Right. But see, people, yeah, either they're paid to be trolls, right? And stir the pot, right? Get you riled up, or get those that might watch your video, they get them feeling the seed of doubt and then they go away. That's what really happens, right?
Yeah, there's so many. I got so many haters. I mean, I'm exposing so many
Yeah.
people for child trafficking, kidnapping,
Yep.
identity theft. These people have stole billions.
Yeah.
These people have helped unalive people to steal their identity. I'm exposing all this.
Yeah.
We got enemies, people. This is a freaking war,
Yeah.
plain and simple. These
Yeah.
people don't want me sharing my story. They don't want me alive to share this, but we're here. We're doing it, and I hope you help me out and share it with me and
When,
Sue.
when I put this book out on Amazon, right? This is a book of a summary of all the stories John has told us in the past 3 years now. I put this out on Amazon, and guess what? They flipped out and said, "Don't ever come back. Don't use it. You can't ever publish anything with Amazon again under any account ever, ever, ever to infinity." And
Who's actually
that
holding this book?
that shows you, all right, like, because they've got books on every topic out on Amazon. Some very unwholesome books are out there, okay? That's okay. But getting the story out, and yeah, there are unsavory things in there. It hasn't been an easy path for John. They took it right down. So that is just one. But YouTube censors us, Google, everyone is involved. Okay. So wouldn't it be beautiful if we didn't have the censorship? The news reporters told truthful stories. We could just log into our software. It would work without, we're not doing anything harmful to anyone, of course. It would just work, right? Without all the games we have to play. Yeah. So that's
And
why getting the story out has to happen at the grassroots level, you know?
Sue's book is on my website only. They banned it on Amazon. They don't want you to know what's in this book, the horrors that's in this book. And maybe you could share the website, Sue, if that's possible,
Your
because this is
website,
the only place to get it on the
right?
website. So if you want a great coffee table book, get
Yep.
it. If you want an autograph book, ask Sue for it, or me for one, or however. But it's on the website right
Yep.
here.
So this is a picture of, or this is John's website, the real John F. Kennedy Jr.com. This is what the website looks like. Lots of content here, but this is basically where you buy the books. And now, do you see that little thing that says get the ebook? So if you don't read printed books or whatever, or you're in a different country and you just want to get the book quickly and not wait forever for it to be shipped, you can get the ebook. All right, there you go. The other books are there as well. Stolen Identity and The Historian's Tale.
That's my
And then,
website, everybody. I don't know if you could see that or not because I couldn't see
yeah,
what you was looking at.
yeah,
But the real John F. Kennedy,
yeah,
JR.com.
yeah,
Please go check it out. It
yeah.
helps
It's a,
put gas in the car and yeah,
yeah,
can all use
beautiful
gas.
website. Beautiful website. It shows a lot of what's happened to you in a picture format. So for those that, don't want to spend a lot of time, they're curious about the story. You could go look at the gallery page, you could look at the timeline page and get kind of a feel. But even better is there's a documentary that was made, thequietjourney.tv. It's a 1 hour documentary. if you've got an hour, go listen or slash watch this, and you're going to get such great information about the story. You're going to want more, right? So there you go. TheQuietJourney.tv. And then John's website, the real John F. Kennedy Jr.com. All right.
But
The
yeah,
books are
if
there.
anybody's new to my story, go watch my documentary, The Quiet Journey TV.
Yeah. Yeah. So someone cared enough about John and his story to actually send a crew, and they spent, let's just say, a week filming. I don't know how long it took really, but they at their own expense, they created a beautiful documentary, right? Edited it, got it out there for you. It is beautifully done. And what a
Yeah,
gift that was, right?
wonderful hearts. They
Yeah.
gave us the opportunity to try to get this truth
Yeah.
out,
Yeah.
and that's what we're doing. So
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
hugs to them,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah. So our goal is to get the truth out with the books, the videos, like we're talking about this every week, and the documentary. Getting the truth out to those that might not have heard the story, or that might be programmed slash brainwashed into the traditional story that we're told, which is the imposter, George, was killed in the plane crash, right? And we know, like the story that we've been told is not true. Like it's all a way to get to the Kennedy money, the Kennedy fortune, the Kennedy resources, the power and control that they had. So none of that story is true.
Yeah, if you see all these posts and videos
Yeah.
about John Kennedy Jr., the one you knew coming back, running with Trump, being
Yeah.
on Mount Rushmore, and all this other bullshit that he didn't die, it's all bullshit. It's all there. 107, the wizard, all these other motherfuckers. The guy that's holding up George Magazine to this day, they're all part of the cabal.
Yeah.
They're all part of the scam. They're all trying to discredit me by fucking up your head on the truth. We're here sharing the truth. I'm the real John Kennedy Jr. I was kidnapped and replaced. You want me to share a story? I'll tell you a story. They can't fucking tell you a story because they don't know the story. It's that simple.
Yeah.
They don't know. So they make this shit up,
Yeah.
but it's all to discredit, it's all to hinder the truth from you knowing it.
Yeah. And they're talking about bringing John Kennedy Jr. out to like run with Trump or whoever, political stuff, right? Which again is quite a joke. So they're going to bring a guy out that no one's seen in 25 years. And the sad part is pretty much everyone's going to vote for him, not for his sake so much, but they loved your father so much. They want that again, right? So they're going
Well,
to
I'll share,
blindly just vote for a stranger.
before we go, I'll share a quick story real quick about that and
Yeah.
John Kennedy coming back to life and all this other bullshit.
Yeah.
John Kennedy was my brother. The man you knew as John Kennedy was my stepbrother George. And him and his wife were evil. They belonged to organized crime. My cousin Adam had already been murdered and replaced. He died the same year as the plane crash, also. Organized crime was just plain pissed off at these guys. But they wanted to get rid of me too. But his wife and him were freaking evil. They unalived the wrong person. They committed murder. Organized crime found out about it. They said, we're going to stick him in an airplane. And how did they get him in that airplane? They put him in that airplane because they were taking me to a wedding to have me killed so my story would never get out. That plane ride was just to go to a wedding to kill me. So I was on that plane. They were taking me there. I survived that crash. But organized crime didn't want this story out. But now we're getting it out. That's why it's so important that you hit the share button and hear my stories.
Yeah.
It was an organized crime hit by our very own government. They wanted us all dead. And I'm here for some reason. Maybe it's to
Yeah.
wake everybody the fuck up that, hey, this shit's real.
Like
Um,
you like you said, they love plane crashes, they love accidents, right? Because who can
oh,
dispute an
shit.
accident, right? Plane crashes in this case, or like car accidents or whatever, heart attacks, all these
One,
crazy
one thing
things.
I learned in Vietnam as a child, Friendly fire. Friendly freaking fire. Even the people on your side, if you don't like them, if they fuck up, if they get drunk and somebody dies and they'll unalive you, they don't give a shit. They'll climb that ladder to power. Friendly fire. It's the same. It's the same way within our government. It really is. It's on the
Right.
battlefield.
Awful. Yeah. So, anyways, we've ranted and raved. But what we're really, really wanting is for people to understand this is a huge story. Like, it is like a foundational story of what's happened in our society, the deceit that we've been subject to for a really long time. Yeah.
Well, people need to stop. They need to think of if this guy's John Kennedy, how big does this story goes? Because it's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
You'll see the man that stole my identity with Bobby Kennedy. You'll see the man that stole my identity with the Epsteins, with Maxwell. You'll see the man that stole my identity with Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton. My story ties them all together, just like the Epstein files, and we're all figuring out how hard it is to get the truth out there now. So just think about the big picture. What does my story expose of my loved ones being unalived by our very own government? That's pretty hardcore, people. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the way we can like expose these people and make things better is expose them. Organized crime, like we said first in the show, expose organized crime. Hit the share button. They're not going to put me on Fox News, people. I guarantee it. Because first thing I would do was say, what about Bill O'Reilly? What about Sean Hannity? The little kid I went to school with, Sean Hannity, and you guys made him a fucking millionaire. Hello, he knows the story. He knows
Right.
man stole my identity.
Right.
But yet he's saying, go Trump. That's how big my story is, people.
Yeah. And of course, so you've met so many people, we'll call them celebrities, famous people throughout your lifetime. You were the president's son, you studied under several of them, you were had an acting career, you've been everywhere and traveled around and met them through both your parents and Aristotle Onassis's connections, right? So people like you lived a different life than we can really even imagine, right? In in every
Moved
respect. And
around a
then when you
lot.
were,
I really did. Helicopters and airplanes.
yeah,
And a lot of people will say, well, how did you know that many people? It's real easy. How many people did Jimmy Carson know? How many people, you get these nighttime talk show hosts, their book is thousands of people that come two, three, four a night on their
yeah,
shows. It's the music industry, it's the Hollywood
yeah,
entertainment industry. It's so huge, the people that they know. So, for you to know all these people, go
yeah,
find Jimmy Fallon. Hello, look at
yeah,
his address book. He's placed there. They're all placed there.
yeah, yeah,
David Letterman. Their address books are like this. Of famous people. Get three or four of those people together, and you got everybody's phone number in the world that rules this country.
yeah. And of course, they don't probably use paper anymore. But yeah, you're right. Right? Yeah. So it's a very important story to get out. It's as important as the Epstein files. Like they kind of mesh in together. With the Epstein files, which of course are being they're slowly trying to backpedal and like make it go away by doing all these other crazy things out there, the false flag events, right? Um, they are like the population is starting to fade and the anger is starting to go away and the conversation is starting to subside, which we don't want. We don't want that to happen here either. We need to keep the conversation going. We need to educate more people. We need to get it out to those that haven't heard the story.
Um, my Hollywood career was the name that they used for me was Richard Steele. I just made a post on Facebook of my pictures of me as little John Kennedy Jr., me as Richard Steele. Henry found a wonderful picture of me jumping out of a McDonald's bag that I clearly remember.
Yep.
because I had to talk with Ronald McDonald because Ronald McDonald scared the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
Um, so they had me meet Ronald McDonald before they pushed me through the table out of a McDonald's bag. Henry cleaned that up. But yeah, my Hollywood name was Richard Steele. And this Richard Steele character that stole my identity has been profiting off me ever since. And he probably doesn't even know half the shit that I did. Probably not even half. He's just been there to say, yeah, I was Richard Steele and
Yep.
collect the fucking paycheck.
Yep.
But yeah, they stole so much from me, everything. And they used me and they abused me. And we're going to put a stop to it.
Yep. Yep. So, so next time we talk, let's talk about the more particulars. So we're good. I want to attract more new people. Like we always talk about the same thing with the same people. I want to get new people into the videos, listening to the story, having the curiosity to want to know more,
And
right?
ask more serious questions.
Yeah.
Um, People look at the big picture of why what was done to
Yeah.
me and ask me some serious questions, not what was my dog Spot's name. You know, you just told me my dog's name was Spot. Don't ask me questions like that, but real serious questions that the world doesn't know that I
Yeah.
might be able to have the answer
Yeah.
um, for you for that.
I got a question the other day from someone, and they asked if you remembered the layout or the inside of the White House, and that was their
No,
question.
just some of it.
Yeah,
But
and
yeah, I really couldn't.
yeah,
You
it,
know, a lot of it was photo shoots for me playing under the desk. I remember my father's cigar box, little things like that. But I was too little. I was 3 years old.
my
Just it's
guess
just a few memories.
my guess is that if you were to walk through again, like right now, like go back through, you would recognize it. But again, you were
Yeah,
only
well, I
3.
wouldn't recognize all of it because half of it's gone thanks to Trump. Fucking idiot.
Well, the thing is too, think of it this way. You were 3. You had nannies and aides and Secret Service that you would have breakfast. They'd get you dressed. They'd take you away. You were always accompanied by adults and you weren't paying attention to that kind of stuff, right? You were just following what you were told to do. You were just a kid. Any 3-year-old does that, okay?
Everything's you're told by your mother, your father, and the Secret Service what to do.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Secret Service is telling your mother and father what to do. They're telling you what to do.
Yeah.
They're your babysitters, your
Yeah.
handlers. Um, and yeah, you know, people like I had a question last week that was, what did the yard look like? It's like I was a little kid. The grass was fucking green. The pool water was wet. I don't know what to tell you. Um,
Well, it's a question, but so great. Bring the questions, but rather
yeah,
than
and
be like,
I was actually tortured not to remember names. I remember faces, but yeah, a lot of things I was tortured so I wouldn't remember, so I couldn't talk.
yeah,
But I don't know where I was going with that, but I
well,
start talking about torture and I remember that shit and my mind goes blank.
yeah,
But a
yeah,
lot of it was no good,
yeah.
really no good at all.
Well, like we're finding out though, like this, not your exact details, but this identity theft, switching people out is happening. It's been happening for a long time. It's continued to happen. We need to stop that because people are getting, we'll call that unalived, their identities taken, their resources taken, whatever the agenda is, and people are starting to see it. So let's keep that momentum going, get the story out there, educate more people, and let them see what's happening. Like, so we've got the Jim Carrey story, like everybody's all a buzz about that. But what about a person like John, whose his whole life has been horrible, disrupted, and all of his money, his estate, all the resources you had gone, and
And
you've
even
lived
when
in
I would work
poverty.
really hard to get something,
Yeah,
that you know, work my ass off day after day at a job to earn something, they
yeah,
would find a way to destroy it.
yeah, yeah.
They would, and
Anytime
that's
you
the way it
put,
works, people.
It's like anytime you would get ahead, they would push you back, right? So you'd get something, they'd set your house on fire
Yeah.
or whatever it might be. So he could never get ahead by design, right? Nothing was coincidental. It was always by design. Awful.
They're masters at deception and
Yeah.
lies, and
Yeah.
ew, they
Yeah.
are.
Yep. Well, feels like a good breaking point for today, but we'll be back.
Thank you so much, Sue. And for you guys
Thank you.
listening, I believe in the power of prayer. So please pray for me and Robin that we continue to get healthy and
Yes.
strong and
Yes.
stay safe.
Thank
Appreciate
you
it.
so much, John. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Sue.
All right. Bye-bye.
Sue Greenwald, Awakened Stories, people. Check it out. Follow, share.